if I did this whole video doing my best Surge impression. Welcome to Daily Metal, where every day a different metal album gets dissected for your sadistic listening pleasure. I'm the heavy metal lawyer Emma, and in this show I'll talk about why the music in these albums is so good and where they fall in the history of music's most wretched genre. How could I possibly do justice to the debut self-titled album of System of a Down, which came out today, June 30th in 1998? Well, I probably can't. But I can at least beat in your head how great of an album this is, and what an important band System of a Down is in the history of nu metal and of metal in general. Now, System of a Down came onto the scene right as nu metal began to break into the mainstream, alongside bands like Limp Bizkit, Cold Chamber, Papa Roach, and of course the founding fathers of nu metal, Korn. System of a Down is such a great band because it was both so influential on the development of the genre, but at the same time so inimitable. A truly unique sound, despite being decidedly part of the nu metal scene. Like many nu metal bands, System of a Down was a melting pot of genres, though System of a Down has more influences from death metal and hardcore versus the hip-hop influence in a lot of nu metal bands. And the self-titled album is like a chili that is just beginning to be made. The ingredients haven't cooked down yet, so it is still easy to see the individual ingredients in the stew. Which isn't to say the music is half-baked. To the contrary, this is probably my second favorite System of a Down album next to the undeniable opus Toxicity. While some standout elements of the band are not as well owned as they are on later albums, particularly the backup vocals of Darren Malakian and the sharpness of the political message in the lyrics, the rawness of this album is actually very appealing, making the music more ferocious than the later, more polished albums like Mesmerize and Hypnotize. And you can hear every constituent element of System of a Down's music in its most unrestrained form. The quirky vocal quips of Serj Tankian come through especially on D-Devil, with the falsetto yelps punctuating the growls. The simple and insanely catchy riffs come through on a lot of songs, but none more than Sugar, the breakout track of the album, known as much for the staccato guitar melody as the Sugar vocal refrain. The band's enormous songwriting talent is clear both on the ragers like No, that give each band member a chance to shine, and on Spiders, the first and in my opinion the best of their many signature metal ballads, made possible both by Serj's incredible crooning voice and by the band's impeccable timing at coming in with the full weight of metal instrumentation to bolster the emotional buildup of the softer sections of the song. And of course, the band's Armenian heritage is featured on this album, as it's featured on all of the others, with the grim PLUK demanding reparations for the Armenian genocide, and which also features the lyrics that comprise the band's name. Quote, "The plan was mastered and called genocide, took all the children and then we died. The few that remained were never found, all in a System of a Down." And while the band doesn't bust out any ouds, a stringed instrument played in a lot of Armenian folk music, there are a number of passages in the album that take advantage of the Armenian scale, which, unlike European tonality, is made up of an endless series of tetrachords. To get a sense of what this sounds like, listen to the singing of Serj in the song Soil, particularly when he sings the refrain, "Unrealized." And of course, the production of the album was practically perfect given it was done by the legendary Rick Rubin, and the cover artwork is from a 1928 anti-fascist poster designed by visual artist John Hartfield for the Communist Party of Germany. And showcasing the band's versatility and weirdness is the song Peephole, which is a metal waltz, a freaking 3/4 time signature ass waltz, making them one of the few bands to pull this off without just being laughable, alongside, of course, World Inferno Friendship Society's song Heart Attack 64. In summary, this is an essential album for any metalhead, and especially for those metalheads who are skeptical of whether new metal can be good, and it might even serve that purpose better than the band's best album, Toxicity, since the self-titled album still has one foot firmly planted in death metal. So what's your favorite System of a Down album? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you like this video, please subscribe so you can find out what the best metal album of the day is, why it is so brutal, and where it fits in the history of the genre.